So, I wanted to share a very traumatizing story because I just need to get it out. I've talked about it a decent amount of times, not necessarily on YouTube, but across my platforms. I just added the full story on Instagram, not necessarily the full story, but like a good chunk of detail of what made it so traumatizing. Um, I did leave out a few couple parts, just because you guys already heard them. But it was just, it was so mentally hard for me to go through that I, like, couldn't bear it, and it just basically ruined me now. And I haven't been back to this certain place in a while. So, I'll just say it. It did have to do with a fake service dog. Let me move this real quick because I want to get some better lighting. Hopefully that works a little bit better, just a tad bit better. So, yeah, fake service dog. Shocker, right? Not really, but you get my gist. It's just so many things happen with fake service dogs that really nobody appreciates, and everyone asks, what's the big deal about a fake service dog? It's just a dog. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal. It really is. For the people who have service dogs or the people who are allergic to dogs, people who have a fear of dogs, fake service dogs are a huge deal. And I don't think people get it. I really don't think people get it because they will look like people who don't have service dogs or people who don't have allergy or fear. People who are essentially dog moms or fur baby moms, whatever you want to call them these days. Fur mommies. Forgot the term for that. Fur mommies. These fur mommies or fur daddies will come on my page, leave it will either be like a sentence, like one word, or sometimes a whole paragraph where they will be keyboard warriors and be like, fake service dogs aren't bad. I bring my little Fifi everywhere with me. You're dramatic. You're a Karen. You're overreacting. There's nothing wrong with fake service dogs. You're just being a Karen. No, I'm not. Okay, so first, quick definition of what a Karen is. A Karen is someone who wants everyone to go above and beyond for them, aka a fake service dog handler, because if you think about it, they don't need their dogs. They really don't. They're bringing their dogs in for essentially attention. And I hate to say it this way because, some people who may accidentally fake service dogs, they might not feel this way, but the majority of people do. They want attention from the public, and when they don't get that attention, they try to create drama or something to get attention. And this is what this person did that caused me trauma, is get attention. He made a scene. He harassed me. He threatened to hurt me and my dog. It was insane. He even went as far as calling my service dog the aggressive one and started threatening both me and my dog. So it was just a whole ordeal. So yeah, like, service dog handlers, we're not Karens. People with dog allergies or people who just don't want a dog in the store, they're not Karens. They genuinely have concerns. Just hear them out, okay? Like, instead of going on someone's page and be like, well, you're a liar. There's nothing wrong with this. You're just being dramatic. You're being a Karen. Hear them out. Maybe ask a question. Why do you not like this? What was the dog doing wrong? In a respectful way. Sorry, stuttered there because I was like, did that come through right? Because I was thinking about it. It did. Just ask that instead of, just assuming and saying that they're wrong and they're being over dramatic. Because these things are very traumatic. Very, in real life. I used to see people before I, officially started seeing fake service dogs a lot. Even when I was seeing fake service dogs before, occasionally, I was like, oh, they're not that bad. They're just, the fake service dogs I was running into were, puppies, little 8-week-old puppies that people just bought and they brung it in the store. I was like, whatever. It's not distracting my dog. It's just a puppy. I was like, I don't know why these service dog handlers are being so dramatic. But once I started going more and more into public access with my service dog, I would even, when I didn't have Dixie, when I was kind of getting used to bringing her in public, when I didn't have her, I saw fake service dogs a lot. And I used to look at these dogs and I'm like, well, there's no reason I should assume that dog's fake because it's not reacting to my dog. But there were so many red flags that those dogs were fake, you guys. Anyways, I never really started understanding the trauma that service dog handlers went through until I experienced it myself, and unfortunately that's a reality. So if you're a newer service dog handler or you don't have a service dog, you won't understand the pain that real service dog handlers go through just trying to battle with this and battle with the public and try to get their rights. It's so hard for people to respect your rights because they don't take you seriously. If someone in a wheelchair was rolling around Walmart just trying to mind their own business and someone came up and grabbed a stick and launched it in their wheel and they fell over and, they can't walk, the person in the wheelchair fell over and they started crying because they got hurt, everyone would be mad at that. But for some reason, when a fake service dog goes after a real service dog and the handler starts crying, hyperventilating, or having a panic attack or freaking out on the other person, people start recording. They're like, oh, this is a Karen. This is a bad person. Why are we bad people? But people who are harassed, in other instances, when other people are harassed, why are they not bad people? Why, if someone who is blind using a cane, if someone takes their cane, starts beating up with the cane, why aren't they a bad person? The person using the cane. Because they must be asking to be beat if they're being beat with their own cane. No. So why is a service dog handler called a bad person if they're having a panic attack over a fake? That just makes me so confused. And I'm sorry, I'm really proud of myself because that's honestly a really good point, and I'm going to be using that from now on. Because honestly, why? If I was in a wheelchair without my service dog and someone pushed me out, I have dislocating knees and my knee dislocated and I freak out when they do because it hurts. And if I start freaking out, what do you think people would do? Do you think they would start recording me and laughing and saying I'm being a Karen, I'm being dramatic if someone pushed me out of my own wheelchair and dislocated my knee? Do you think they would say that? Most likely not. They would probably kick the person out of the store that did that. But when a person has a fake service dog, it's completely different apparently because I guess people don't view service dogs as medical equipment and they think you're being dramatic even though they don't understand that those service dogs keep their handlers alive. Okay, so on to the story because I know you guys are waiting. I keep on seeing people joining and leaving and joining and leaving because you're probably getting sick of me ranting. So I'm going to get into it. So we went to Walmart. I don't even know how long ago. It was more than a week ago. It was more than a week ago. It wasn't just yesterday. But I think it was my most recent fake service dog encounter. I think so, because I haven't gone back to Walmart since, which has been a long time. Sorry. We keep on going to Meijer's to get food or Shop and Save. Sorry, I'm having like hiccups and burps kind of. I think I'm having like acid reflux. That happens sometimes, especially when I drink Mountain Dew or sugary sodas or anything. That happens. So I apologize if you see me pause in the middle of my talking, because that's what happens. Anyways, I'm gonna get back up on here. So, yeah, we went into Walmart, and it was going really, really good. I was actually getting some good training in with Dixie. I was recording Dixie. I was like, this is my day. I'm going to record Dixie. I'm going to post it on YouTube. I'm going to finally get back into YouTube. Sorry, I'm going to sit up. Sorry, I'm trying to get a comfortable position. I might change from this soon because this is not comfortable, but whatever. So I was training with Dixie, and I was like, oh my gosh, this training is going so well. I'm so happy. So I was recording Dixie for YouTube, and we were, probably the majority of our shopping was almost done. So what we do is we go through the whole store. If we see something that we want, we'll get it. We'll just kind of make a quick run through the store, and then we'll slowly go back up towards the front and start analyzing what we need, what we don't need, all that. So it's kind of like quick and then slow. So we got done with our quick spree of just kind of getting stuff. So we were like, well, we need milk, eggs, and cream cheese. I think the eggs are back there. I'm pretty sure where I'm talking about, I think our eggs in Walmart. Yeah, they're back there. Sorry, brain fart. And we were getting orange juice, which is by the eggs. So we went back there to go get our stuff, and we were going to the cream cheese, which was before the milk, orange juice and eggs. Sorry, another brain fart. And I was getting my cream cheese. We were putting it in the cart. Well, we didn't get the cream cheese yet. Sorry, skipping ahead. We were walking towards the cream cheese, and a family of 3, I think they were more like friends. There was like 1 girl and 2 dudes. They came out from the corner, and I was looking down at Dixie, so I didn't notice at first. I kept on walking. I think I was recording Dixie. Maybe I wasn't. Maybe I was just looking at her. I don't know. I was doing something focused on Dixie, and I heard this. And I was like, those aren't Dixie's nails, because we had stopped, because my brother and my dad stopped in front of me. Obviously they were looking ahead, because I think I was just looking at Dixie or on my phone or something. I don't know. I was doing something, and I heard this, and Dixie wasn't walking, and I was like, what? So I looked up. My brother and my dad are kind of like right here, so I could still kind of see in front of me. And I saw this dog. I was like, oh, a dog. I was like, okay, well, sometimes fake service dogs don't really have a reaction. I was like, wait, is that the dog I think it is? Yep, it was. It was the same fake service dog I had seen 6 months before. The same guy whose dog peed on everything it came into contact with. I think it's a female dog, but it did have a peeing issue. So it peed on, I know it peed on watermelon. Or maybe that was another dog. I didn't actually see it happen, but I did see a puddle of dog pee on a watermelon. That was disgusting. It was like soaking through the cardboard. It was gross. I assumed it was his dog, because obviously his dog was not a service dog. His dog's best had emotional support. So, when I first saw his dog, his dog was just like dragging towards Dixie, and it wasn't barking. So that was good. So I was kind of calmer until the guy basically called me dumb when I told him emotional support dogs aren't service dogs and that they're not allowed in Walmart. So that kind of got me fired up and made him my top list of dog Karens, basically. That just made me livid. But it wasn't as bad as what he did now, which is why it makes it my most traumatizing experience. So, again, going to go get the cream cheese, I stopped, I saw this dog, I was like, oh crap, I was thinking about what I just told you guys, this is the same fake service dog. And I'm like, okay, well, last time it didn't bark, so let's hope it doesn't bark. Well, once it saw my dog, which took it a couple seconds, because, again, I was pushing the cart, so Dixie was in between, like, one of those, like, laid down refrigerators where, sometimes there's, like, deals in the middle of the aisles where it kind of separates the 2 aisles. Whatever. Dixie was pressed up against one of those, and I had a cart. The dog saw Dixie from the little crack, because we also had, like, a shelf kind of blocking, so you could really only see, like, this side of Dixie's face, kind of. The dog saw my dog and started going ballistic. The dog started going, roar, like, loudest as it possibly could, and the guy said, no, shh, and he, I need like a dog, one of my stuffed dogs, so I could show. So his dog had its vest on, it was connected by the vest, and it started going, roar, and he's like, no, shh, and he, like, scooped it up in his arms, and it was, like, looking at Dixie like this, and it started trying to, like, get out of his arms and trying to, like, jump out, and this was a really fat beagle, so I kind of felt bad for the guy that he had to pick up, like, a 30 pound beagle. This beagle was huge, like, biggest beagle I've ever seen, fat-wise. And it was a smaller dog, but it was really round and chunky. And, like I said, he was with 3 people. So the other 2 people, the female and the other male, came up and had the dog. And he was holding it like this. And it was just kind of like, so I followed my dad to the cream cheese area. And, because I wanted my dad to block me, so I stood directly behind my dad and tried to hide Dixie so this dog wouldn't start reacting again. Because what I didn't want to do is be, like, my dad was way over here and I was, like, way back here. My brother went with my dad, too. I'm like, I'm going to have better chances if I stay behind my family than stay here and possibly have the guy try to walk towards me and set his dog down and have his dog attack mine. So I was like, I'm going to go behind my dad so he can block me. So I went behind him. Again, this guy was holding his dog, and the dog was, like, watching Dixie walk over, and Dixie literally just sat down. And the dog was still watching her, so I was like, okay, it's not barking again. And Dixie just kind of, like, was ignoring it. She was like, oh, there's a dog there, whatever. Dixie didn't care, because she just heard the dog bark, and she was like, why are you barking? Aren't you supposed to be a real service dog? Apparently not. So, anyways, so Dixie she didn't really care, because it was just a minor inconvenience for her. And all of a sudden, My dog minding her own business, didn't make a sound, didn't even move. My dog was just not even moving. The dog, again, was following her like this, went like this, stayed there for a couple seconds, and went, "Arr!" and started yelping and crying. It sounded like it was being beat, and I understand why, because the lady grabbed it, like, squeezed the muzzle this hard to where you could, like, hear the teeth grinding once again. This seems like a very popular abuse tactic in my town, because a lot of people grab their fake service dogs by the nose and squeeze them until you can hear the teeth grinding. And squeezed it, and the guy started going like this, "No, shh, shh," and the dog was like, and it was trying to bark with its mouth being covered, and I was sitting there like, you're abusing your dog. It's not your dog's fault that you're a crappy person, and you have it in the store when it's not supposed to be. Why would you beat your dog because your dog's not trained? And I didn't say this to the guy. I did say his dog was aggressive in the future. I'll get to that. I did say his dog was aggressive. He did not like that, and that's where the traumatizing part comes in. So I'll get to that real quick because it happens soon after this. And the guy was just such a horrible person. You're punishing your dog because you don't have the energy to train it. You would rather sit home, and I was judging by his cart. I'm not body shaming. I was judging by the food he had in his cart. You can sit home, eat potato chips, brownies, cookies, like all these desserts and junk food. You can sit on the couch and eat all that, but you can't train your service dog, who was not a service dog. It was labeled as emotional support. So my dad is like, he's the type of guy that will say something, but he'll say it quiet enough where the other person can't hear. He's like, "Some service dog that is." And I said, "Yeah, obviously not a service dog." And I don't think the guy heard me either, because we were kind of quiet about it. We were like, no, I didn't say some service dog. I said, that is extremely embarrassing. And I started laughing because Dixie had no care in the world, once again. I was like, wow, that's so embarrassing. And oh my gosh, this guy didn't hear me, but I was literally like laughing, and he could hear me laughing like anyone can. And he looked at me kind of like in a weird way. He's like, "Why is that chick laughing?" And I think he caught the gist that I was laughing at him and not with him. I wasn't laughing like, "Ha ha ha, your service dog is barking and growling and going insane. That's so funny. Wow, you're such a good dog handler because your dog is such a comedian." No, I think he figured out that I was laughing at him because his service dog was being out of control. Anyways, so like the milk, and I think that's it. There was milk, and then the eggs and the oranges were like right here. So it was just like the very far back of the store, so they're all in a group. Well, we needed milk, and the guy was right there, right in front of the door where you open to get the milk. So we were like, okay, not getting milk today. So we left. So the guy was right here. We like went back and parted this way, and we went toward, sorry, I'm hiccuping again. We went towards the eggs and the orange juice. Got eggs, got orange juice, whatever. Just got our stuff. And then we continued on. Didn't see the guy for a great while, so I thought, maybe the dude left because his dog is embarrassing. I'm like, maybe he left. Okay, good. And he didn't. So I was anxious, and I was kind of shaking because obviously that's a very traumatizing thing to go through. Just by itself, having a dog literally freak out and scream at the top of its lungs when it sees a dog who's not doing anything. Like, that just shows you how reactive the dog is when it's reacting to a dog who is basically like a stuffed animal, literally. Dixie was just sitting there like this. She wasn't doing anything, so it was kind of concerning that his dog would react that way. So it kind of got me thinking, why did his dog react that way when my dog wasn't doing anything? So I was going through these thoughts, and I was just kind of like daydreaming and just kind of going on. Not even about the fake service dog constantly. I was just kind of like thinking about different things like, what am I going to eat for dinner today? What are the goats going to be doing? I don't know, just random crap. And I was like, oh, I remember I have art class on Monday. It was like a Saturday. We went to Walmart. And I was like, oh, I have art class Monday. And like, my art class teacher was going to fail me if I didn't have a sketchbook. I'm like, I looked in the cart, and I had a notebook that I picked up, and I was like, oh, I got it. And I'm like, oh, crap. The art teacher said we're not allowed to have a notebook. We need sketchbook, because notebooks, I'll grab it because I have one right here, if I can get it. This is what a notebook looks like. See how they have these little lines on the paper? So my art teacher wanted me to have a sketchbook because those are blank paper, so you get better sketches and more high quality, and just overall better quality and, what do you call it, artsmanship or whatever, I don't know, pensmanship, I don't know, just something where you can improve on your skill. So he wanted me to get one of those. And I rolled my eyes and I said, Dad, I have to go get a sketchbook. And he's like, I thought you got one. And I'm like, nope, it's a notebook, because I am literally stupid. Because I just thought I could get away. I couldn't find the sketchbooks at first, so I was just like, okay, I'll just settle for a notepad, whatever. And I remembered that my teacher said we can't do that. So I went back to the sketchbook area. And I was walking, and I tried going, like, the most reasonable way. There were, like, 4 aisles that I could have gone down. Well, technically 3. When we get to the 4th, you'll see why I couldn't go down that one. You guys probably already know. Anyways, there are 2 aisles kind of connected together. There was, like, the deal. Again, the deals in the middle, so like 50% off dog beds, or like $50 dog beds. Probably not 50% off. It was, like, kind of like the pet aisle mixed with, like, plates and silverware and, well, plastic silverware, or plastic forks. I don't know. You can't call it silverware because it's not silver. Sorry. Random thoughts. It was that aisle. And then there was, like, a baby section. And, like, the clothes were over here. You know, that gist. And then there was, like, the sketchbooks and art supplies. So I tried going down the one aisle on the right side, because that's where you walk. The left side is where you come back. So I was going down the right side. There were 10 people. All the carts were blocking, because they had no common sense. They couldn't just move their carts aside to let me through. Because I did try to go through. I walked, and I was like, excuse me, and they just kind of looked at me and just went on with their shopping. They didn't move their carts. So rude, I know. So I was like, okay, whatever, and I turned to go on this aisle where people normally come back, but I was going to walk this way, and I'm like, whatever, if someone wants to yell at me, or, like, be a freak about it, whatever, but a lot of people did that anyway, so I'm like, whatever. And I looked down, and I rolled my eyes. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because there was this Walmart worker with, like, a humongous cart. I've never seen this type of cart before. It was huge. A humongous cart with boxes stacked on top of each other. Like, you could barely see, like, the other aisles because the boxes were that tall. It, like, didn't almost reach the ceiling. Sorry, I'm being dramatic. It was pretty tall, though. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I can't go down that aisle either. So I turned, and I was like, okay, I'll just go down and go to the next aisle over. Turned around, and I was like, my heart sank, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I thought they left. The dog was there. And they were standing right in the middle of the aisle. Right in the middle. And then they kind of, like, moved, because they were looking at, like, a outside shelf where you okay, again, sorry for my weird explanations. You guys probably don't get it. Where you're walking down, and, you know, like, when you're walking past all the aisles, you can see down every single aisle. And then there's, like, those little areas where there's, like, little knickknacks with deals, like $2 chips or whatever. Just weird deals on the outside. So they were looking at those. It kind of looked like they were looking at books or movies. I don't know. I don't think it was books or movies. It was something that was, like, flat, like a book. They were looking at something, and they were just standing there. I don't think they were, like, looking that hard, because they were, like, talking a lot. Anyways, I was like, okay, well, even though they're right there, if I make the aisle right before I hit them, I think I can make it and avoid their dog, because their dog wasn't looking at Dixie. It was being reactive towards a stranger. So I was like, okay, maybe if I cut right here, the dog won't see me, and maybe I could just go get my sketchbook and, like, maybe walk the really long way that would take me, like, 5 minutes to get to my brother and my dad, because it's, like, walking to the end of the store and going all the way back to the opposite end. It's like, I'll just go that way. I just don't want to risk my dog being attacked. So I was just like, I'll just go that way. And I tried turning on that aisle, and I literally got so mad. I was about to start screaming and pulling out my hair, because guess what? An aisle of people, fuller than the 10 other people. It was like 15, 20 people. I'm like, how many of you people need cleaning supplies? Are you kidding me? Can you guys not just be like, oh, this aisle's already kind of crowded. Let's go look at something else and come back. Why can't you do that? Why do you all have to be in the aisle at the same time, there was, like, Walmart workers with their, like, scooter things and, like, people with their carts just walking around. And I'm like, okay, I can't go down that aisle. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. The dog was still not looking at Dixie. So I'm like, I don't want to do this. Me and this guy had quite a big distance. So it's not like his dog would immediately bite my dog if it was truly, like, wanting to attack my dog. I was like, I could get away if I walked super fast and I blocked Dixie, which I did block Dixie. I did not expose her to this dog. I'm like, if I walk really, really, really fast, I might be able to get away from this guy. So I did. That was my reaction. Like, you know, fight, flight, or freeze. Those three. Mine was like, flight, just go. But I was prepared to fight, which I ended up doing, not physical. Because your girl does not like physical fights, because I do not like hurting people, no matter how crappy the person is. I don't believe in hurting people unless they're directly hurting me or my dog, because if you lay one finger on my dog, you're 6 feet. So yeah. Anyways, but if you lay a hand on me, I'm just gonna be like, okay, that hurt, bye-bye, I'm not gonna fight you. But again, if you touch my dog, bye-bye. Anyways, sorry, moment of rage. So, I walked super fast past, and, sorry, hiccup, and, I cannot breathe. This guy was right here with his dog. Dixie was, like, squeezing tight, and I was right here. So, I'm, like, a wide, tall person, so whatever. I don't know if that has to do anything. So, Dixie was right up against my leg. The dog was over here, and Dixie was right here, and I was squeezing her against the other shelves purposely, so she was as far away as possible. And I couldn't pick her up, because that would kind of make a scene, and I don't have the strength to carry, like, a 50-pound, 40-pound dog. Like, even if it was just a little ways away, maybe I'll do it in the future, but when I'm panicking and having a panic attack, I normally don't think to do that. So yeah, I just left her on the ground, and I walked quickly past, and Dixie was, like, full-on trotting, almost, like, cantering, if you will, with me, because I was trying to walk as fast as I can. I can't run because of my knees. Like I said, they dislocate. So I was speed walking, and the guy's dog, I was almost past the dog, and it did not see Dixie. I was almost past you guys. I was this close to leaving the dog behind when it was not looking at my dog. And of course, right when me and this guy are in line, like, directly, like, he's right here, right beside me. Kind of like, I was, like, a little bit back, but you know what I mean. We were right here. As soon, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get away unharmed. I don't have to say anything snarky. I don't have to report this guy. As long as his dog leaves mine alone, we will be fine. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. And of course, fake service dogs eventually see your dog. So I was speed walking by, and we were right in line, and this dog it was, like, looking this way where I was trying to speed walk to, and it went, and then it went right at my dog, and of course the guy had, like, it on a flexi leash or, like, a bungee leash or something, and the dog went like this and went, or, like, it didn't bark, I don't think, but it went like this at my dog, and I, like, took Dixie and I jerked her leash forward, because if the dog was to bite her butt, I wanted to jerk her forward, so if the dog was to bite, it would probably, like, bite my calf. So I jerked Dixie forward. The dog didn't get Dixie, luckily. I don't think it was going to bite her. I think it was more curious because its ears kind of perked up. It was like, who are you? So I don't blame the dog. The dog seemed unstable, to say the least. It was, like, acting aggressively. Like, it tried to start something with my dog, but on the same end, it was kind of curious. So, you know, if this guy was kind, I would have said, like, hey, I'm sorry, I kind of overreacted. Your dog's just curious. Maybe next time don't bring it in the store. But you know this guy. So I freaked out because I thought the dog had bit Dixie, or at least attempted to. It didn't bite her because she would have whined. But I thought it attempted to bite her. And I turned around and I said, like, this loud. I said, emotional support dogs are not allowed in the store. I told you that before. And I think he was about to respond. I didn't look back, so I didn't see if he was trying to open his mouth and say something. But all I heard while I was walking away, his dog wasn't following us because it was on a leash. The only thing I heard when I was walking away was, arr, 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 and it was like the dog would not stop. It was worse than before. It would not stop. It was continuous yipping, yapping. It would not stop going nuts. And I'm like, Are you kidding me? Really? Dixie's looking at me and she's like, yeah, Mom. Yeah, look at her itching her ear. She's like, yeah. Dixie was like shocked and she was like, what the heck is this dog on? And Dixie, baby, you want to come here? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come, get it, girl. Come on. Oh, you stretching? Come on, get up here. Join me. You're a good girl. Here, I'll move my pillow so you can kind of get, there you go. Here's Dixie. Let me kind of like move this a little bit. Here, you can snuggle with this. So yeah, it was something for sure. I never really seen a dog that doesn't shut up. And they were screaming at their dog to shut up. They're like, shut up, shh. And I'm like, you're the one bringing your dog in the store when it doesn't belong there, sweetheart. What do you expect your dog to do? Ow, I totally just, like, hit myself in the face. And, like, that hurt bad. I just, like, jabbed myself. Did you guys see that? That hurt. Oh, my God. Sorry. Getting back to the story, I just got very distracted. Oh, it feels like it's bleeding. Ow. Okay, that hurt real bad. Woo! Okay, back to the story. I'm sorry, I'm so dramatic. That hurts. Alright, anyways. So, I went out to the main aisle. Again, I still had to get my sketchbook. So I went past this dog. I turned to the main aisle, and then, like, on the other side, so, like, you know, there's the beginning of the aisle, and then, like, come here. And there's, like, the opposite end. So I went outside of the opposite end. I knew the guy wasn't there. His dog was still on the opposite end. So there was no way his dog would have gone to my dog unless he dropped the leash or let his dog off the leash and it chased mine. Otherwise, there's no way that his leash would not have gone that far. It was very far away. But somehow his dog still managed to see mine. And once again started going, arr, arr, arr. And I was like, are you kidding me? And at this point, I was shaking, hyperventilating, like, having a panic attack. And I was still recording where you could, I was recording all this. So if you guys are curious, you can go watch that, where I'm saying everything. Sorry, let me try to get this because this is really annoying me. This is the nail that jabbed me in the face. So I'm going to try to cut it down. I don't have nail clippers, so sorry. So everyone was looking at me in a weird way. They were like this. They were looking at my dog and me and they were like confused. And I was like, wait, what? Do they think Dixie is the one barking like that? First of all, a German Shepherd does not have a high-pitched little dog yip and howl. German Shepherds have a big, deep voice. My dog sounds like freaking, I don't even know what. Dixie sounds like Venom trying to bark. And that dog sounded like a literal squeaky toy mixed with a yodeler. It was like, I won't even do the sound that I'm thinking of. But that's what it sounded like. So how are you going to think my German Shepherd made those sounds? Sorry, that's weird. So a lady stopped me. I think I am bleeding. Maybe. I got a scar right there. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to look at that in the mirror later. I think I did cut myself. Anyways, continue with the story. A lady, like, stopped me. She was like, she said, wow, your dog's really well behaved. And she said it in a confused voice, and I'm like, thank you. And it clicked, and I'm like, oh my gosh. People thought my dog was the one barking, and my face lit up in embarrassment. But then I realized this beagle was still barking and howling and throwing a fit. And that's why everyone was looking at me confused, because they thought it was my dog. But the barking and howling was still going on, and my dog was not moving her little mouth. So they were like, that doesn't add up. Loud barking and howling, and this dog isn't moving its mouth. Who's doing that? So they were all confused, because they thought it was my dog. Because they thought she was the only dog in the store, which makes sense. Why you would think that's what her bark sounds like, because she's a smaller dog, so people might think she's a puppy or something. And they thought she was the only dog in the store. And the lady stopped me and again said how well behaved my dog was. I said thank you. And I was shaking and I was like having a panic attack. And I said, I'm sorry. Like, she looked at me with concern and I said, I'm sorry. I'm just really shaky because this dog just tried to bite my dog, or along the lines that this dog is aggressive. There's a fake service dog in here that's aggressive, or there's a fake service dog in here that's just trying to bite my dog. Something along that line. And I told her that, and she just kind of gave me, like, a weird look, like, okay, I didn't ask. But, like, At on the same part, you like also compliment me and said how well trained my dog was, because you obviously thought my dog was the one doing that. So I told you why I was in a rush, because she looked at me concerned, and I'm like, I'm sorry, because that's what just happened. That's why I'm like this. That's why I'm shaking like this. Like I literally couldn't hold my phone. My phone almost slipped out of my hand because I was shaking like this because I couldn't handle it. It was scary. And it just got worse from there, my panic. I actually hit a heart rate of 150 or 160 while I was sitting down resting. That was just thinking about the experience. My heart rate's kind of up right now, but in that moment, my heart rate could have reached a dangerous level. I could have passed out because my legs were giving out, and I felt super dizzy and I could not focus. I was like, my eyes were darting. I felt like I was going to pass out. So I was probably up towards 200, and that is extremely high, and you can have a heart attack if you're up to there. So it was extremely dangerous. I could have had a heart attack. Luckily my heart is a little bit stronger than, obviously people with heart issues. I do have heart rate issues where my heart rate will fluctuate from normal to high, but it's not like my heart's weak necessarily. I mean, it is compared to a normal heart, but it's also not just gonna give out on me. I'm sorry, I'm still checking this because I think I'm bleeding and it really, really hurts. Anyways, so yeah, it was really concerning. And after I had told her what the dog did, the guy with the dog screamed, "Little girl, you better watch your mouth," or "Girl, you better watch your mouth. Watch what you're saying." And you can hear that in the video. Immediately after I said what his dog was doing, it's either because I didn't say it like screaming loud. I don't know how he would have heard it, but maybe he did. Or maybe he saw me and no, I was the one that said his dog was not allowed to swear, like the emotional support part, your emotional support dog's not allowed to swear. So he probably either remembered that or he heard me calling his dog aggressive, which was not a lie. And he was like, "You better watch your mouth, little girl," or like something along those lines. And I did not respond because I'm like, I am not going to fight an immature man that is bullying and harassing a teenager with a real service dog. And I'm pretty positive he did hear me call his dog aggressive, because what he did to me was pretty, like, the giveaway that he probably did hear it, which I'm thinking about now. I don't think it was the emotional support thing. I do honestly think he heard me say that. But I'm getting to that. So I was walking towards the sketchbooks. I was like, okay, he has something to say. Just ignore it. Just go get your sketchbook. Calm down. Go to your dad. Go to your brother. Like, I just gotta go get my sketchbook. I want to get out here. I want to go home. So I was actually, I was walking to the aisle, and I turned the corner because the aisle's right here. And I heard the guy speed walking. I heard someone speed walking behind me, and I'm like, is that the guy? I'm not going to turn around and see. Because if he has his dog and I stop, his dog will probably attack mine. It almost sounded like he was trying to sprint at one point, so I was kind of scared. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's just, kids run. Maybe he was a kid. I was like, I'm not going to look back until I heard him be like, "Get over here and talk to me face to face," and started threatening my dog, threatening Dixie, and threatening me. And this was making me mad. I thought I was recording it, but I apparently was not. Because he also tried threatening me again, and I did not get it on camera because I thought I pressed the record, and apparently I did not. And if I did, I could turn that into the police, and I 100% would have, but I did not have the threatening on camera. The only part I had was when he said, "You better watch your mouth," like in a threatening tone. So he was like saying, "You better watch your mouth or else," kind of thing. So that's the only part I got, I believe. I might have got one more thing, but I think it was cut out of the video, unfortunately. It was something. He said something, I don't know what it was, but he started threatening my dog. But he did say, I think I did get on video where he said, "You better get over here," but I think I cut it out at the least part because I was cutting my clips so I could fit it into a 1 minute so I could put it on YouTube Shorts and, get the views and basically educate people on how much of a douche this guy is. Excuse my French. But just, post it for other people to see. Because if you post a short on YouTube, sorry, nerding out. If you post a short on YouTube, you get more views and you get more subscribers and basically more engagement. So I posted on there. I Actually, I might have the full clip. I will look for it for you guys, because I think I posted the full, like, video of Dixie first doing PA before we even ran into the dog. So I do think I have that. I will tell you, but I don't want to keep on rambling. I do think I have that on video if you want to go look for it. But, so it just shook me up, and after I knew this was the same guy following me, actually, he was also saying, hey lady, like, hey lady, come over here, come talk to me face to face. I knew it was him. And I acted like I didn't look at him, I didn't say anything, I kept on walking, and it was pretty amazing because I actually slowed down, not my heart rate, but I tried not shaking as much. I was walking, I sat up straight, and I heard, if you look more strong and brave, that these people won't bother you. So I stood up straight, because I normally slouch like you see me here. I stood up straight, and I stopped trying to shake. I was still shaking, obviously, but I wasn't like this anymore. I was kind of just like this. So I was kind of just like walking straight forward, and I was acting like I didn't hear him, and I'm like, well, maybe he's not talking to me, kind of just like that, but I knew he was. So I walked past the sketchbook aisle, because if I would have gone down that aisle, he very much could have killed my dog, because my dog is not very big, and she does not defend herself, because she's a little angel baby, and she hates conflict. If a dog's mauling her, she will not defend herself. I doubt it. You know, if a dog has her by here, she might turn around to bite and defend herself, but she actually was bit on the side, and she didn't do nothing, so that's how I know firsthand experience that my dog will not defend herself, because we've experienced it before that she does not defend herself. So I didn't want Dixie to get hurt. I didn't want me to get hurt at all. So I passed the sketchbook aisle, and like I passed 2 other aisles, and then there was like the tech area where they sell phones and laptops and like Xbox games and movies. So I went over there, and there were 2 to 3 Walmart workers, all dudes. One of them might have been a lady. I don't know. But 2 of them were dudes for sure. And I went to the bigger dude, like the taller dude, the more filled out dude, because he looked more threatening, and I hate judging people on looks. I knew this guy, actually. I do talk to him. When I go there, he says how good Dixie is. So I went to him. I knew he was not a bad dude, but I do know this other guy might not know him, so it might scare him off. And it worked. So if someone is harassing you in a store, go to a scary looking employee, and they will most likely leave you alone. And if they do try to threaten you, the employee is the witness to it. So I went to this employee, and I started talking to him. And the guy stopped following me. I was talking to him, and this was like my worst mistake, because I asked him, where are your sketchbooks? And I said, can you take me to them? And he could see me on the verge of tears, and I was shaking more now, because I knew the guy wasn't looking at me, so I started shaking again. And I said, can you please show me? So I think he knew. I don't think he knew that something was wrong, but he kind of like was like, okay, lady, I'll show you, you crazy lady, shake and tell me to take you to the notebooks or sketchbooks. And he did. He walked me over to there and pointed, and he left. So I got him quickly. I was looking around, making sure the guy wasn't right there with his dog, or at least the guy by himself. I don't even think I could have recognized the guy, because I didn't really look at his face that much. I just looked at his dog. So, yeah, it was pretty scary. Now I'm thinking about it, because I probably wouldn't have recognized his face if he was, like, kind of approaching me and, like, walking towards me. That's scary to think about. Okay, sorry, I got distracted there, because that would have been really scary, because I don't think I would have recognized him if he was just kind of walking up like a regular customer. Okay, that scares the heck out of me. I'm gonna have to go back on that video and look at his face. I think he was bald, and he was like the same height as me, maybe a little bit taller. I'm 5'9". He is probably taller. Most guys are taller than 5'9", unless you're a short king. You do you. Anyways, but yeah, so I was walking, I tried to find my dad. I went out towards the same aisle where I said that Walmart worker with the really big cart with the boxes that almost touched the ceiling. I was walking out of that aisle, so the lady had left. She had done her stocking. So I came out of that aisle. Again, it was like going towards this way, not this way, so I was coming out, and luckily the guy was not following me, but I think the guy was my mouth. I'm sorry. I just made like a fart noise with my mouth. That was funny. Okay, I'm sorry. But the guy, I think he thought that I was reporting him to that Walmart worker and his dog. So he jumped on it. The guy reported me in Dixie. And for what, you may ask? Take a guess. I'll give you a minute. You don't have to comment it. Just like think it in your head. Can you guess? 3, 2, 1. He called my dog the aggressive one and the out of control one. This sent me over the top. Over the top. I was mad. And I am 90% sure he was calling my dog aggressive because the Walmart workers were treating me like a threat. They were treating my dog like she was a threat to their store. So that's the only thing I could come up with. Instead of him saying this lady is calling my dog aggressive, instead of him like telling the truth of what I said, he most likely lied and called my dog aggressive because people were jumping away from my dog. People were afraid of my dog because most likely it was going through the walkie-talkie and they were reporting it, and other customers walking by could have heard this, and they were like, there's a white female in here, or like whatever. I'm not white, but people think I am. There's a female in here with a aggressive German Shepherd. Watch out, keep an eye out, kick her out if you see her. That's what I assume they say. Because everyone was jumping away from me. Kids were crying when they saw my dog, which is kind of normal sometimes, but not usually, not like all the time, but sometimes. It was one of the worst things I've gone through. So after this guy reported me, I was looking for my dad. I tried finding him. I broke down. I went to like the front of the store, and I went in a corner that actually had no lights around it. There was like lights surrounding outside of it, but it was kind of like a darker corner, so you couldn't have really seen me unless you were kind of close. But if you were just walking by from a distance, you wouldn't have been like, hey, there's a girl with a dog. You wouldn't be able to be like that. So that's where I was, and I sat down and I started crying. And the Walmart workers who work with the fresh goods, like, you know, French bread and like, you know, like that little section where you can get fried chicken tenders and like potato fries or whatever, like the freshly heated up cooked stuff where the Walmart workers get out and give it to you. I was like in that aisle. So there were like 2 people there, a female and I think a male, and they knew me before. I asked them where the pickles were before, and actually there was like a predator behind me, and I'm still a teenager, and he whistled at me and said, dang, give me a piece of that. He was a creep. So these people have seen me before, and actually they had seen my dog around at another service dog before, the brindle dog. That was there. That was actually right next to me while I asked them where the pickles were. That brindle service dog was right there. So they know my dog's not aggressive. And the lady looked at me, but she didn't say anything. She was kind of like looking at me like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Because I was crying and bawling my ass out. I'm like, I need to collect myself and I need to go find my father. At this point, I thought my dad had left me, which he never would. It was just a thought going through my head because I was so scared. And I went up towards the checkout area, self-checkout, regular checkout, you know, and there was kind of like customer service right in the middle. And I was going towards customer service, but I first went to the self-checkout, which was closest to me. And I asked a lady if she could come with me to personal or like customer service. Sorry, I forgot what that was for a second. Brain fart. I asked her if she could come to customer service with me because the guy was harassing me. Or I didn't say if she could come with me. I said, hey, there's a guy in here harassing me. Can you please help me find my dad? That's what I said. I said, I don't know where my dad or my brother is. And there's a guy in the store harassing me. And I didn't say he had a dog. I think she thought more sexually harassing or maybe like abusive harassing, like kind of like being sexist or something like that. I don't think she thought he was going after me about dogs. So, she told me, what does he look like? I'll come with you. It's okay, sweetie. She's like, what does he look like? I said, well, he's like a bald dude. That's all I know. And I said, he does have a beagle service dog with him. I said fake service dog, and she was like, oh, and I'm like, well, his dog's trying to attack mine, and he's harassing me over it, threatening me and my dog, and I'm scared for my life. And that's why I told her, word for word, I believe. A couple of those might be mixed around. I don't know what came first, but it was along those lines. And so we were walking towards customer service, and guess who was there? Not my dad, not my brother, The guy with his dog reporting me to customer service, most likely. I think he saw me, but he kind of just, like, looked at me, quickly looked away, like, nervous. Like, why are you nervous? You're reporting me. But I think he was nervous because this lady was, like, standing in front of me with her arms like this, and she didn't have a gun. What am I thinking? I don't know. She kind of looked like a police officer. She was kind of, like, just standing there, and she's protecting me. So I think he was kind of nervous around this lady because he knew I had told her, because she was looking him down in the eye, like, bro, if you come at this girl and her dog, we're gonna have some issues. So she was really nice. The only nice Walmart worker I had ran into that day. Because even the guy showing me where the sketchbooks were, he didn't get the hint. He didn't get the hint that I was in trouble. So, you know, not his fault. Not everyone would have been able to tell that. But she was protecting me, and this guy, I didn't see him after this. But, also, bye. But, oh, hi. Sorry, back to the story. So yeah. Sorry, trying to get back on track. Okay. So, I was telling her, and she was like, do you need me to call security? Do you want me to call police? Do we need to get you help? I'll help you find your dad. We'll go on, what is it called? Intercom, where they, like, say something that goes over all the speakers in Walmart. And I think they wanted to call my dad, like, oh, is there Clint in the store? Is there Romelia's brother in the store? Something like that. I don't know. My dad's name is Clint. My brother's name is also Clint. Technically Clinton, but, you know, just be like, hey, are these people here? Your daughter / sister is up front. So I feel like they'd be like that. But I said no. And I said, please don't tell my dad that this guy's harassing me. Because, like, if we do find my dad, like, if she were to walk me through the store to find my dad protecting me, I did not want her to tell my dad that this guy was harassing me. Because my dad does have health conditions. And he could possibly have a heart attack or a stroke due to this stress. He didn't end up finding out after, because I told him in the car. And he threatened to the guy up with his dog. And he was livid. My dad was livid. But I saw my dad checking out, and my dad didn't look that concerned when he saw me, and I can't run, like I said, but I basically ran to him, if you will, with tears in my eyes. I was crying, and I stood there, and I was doing this with my fingers. I crack my fingers when I'm anxious, so if you see me doing this, I'm nervous or anxious. Sometimes I just do it for fun, but not really. It's more just like an anxious thing. So, found my dad, and I started doing the finger cracking thing, and I whispered to my brother in the store, there's a guy in here who was harassing me. He threatened to see my brother's like, are you kidding me? My brother was pretty upset, but not as upset as my dad was. We left. I told my dad in the parking lot, and after we drove out of Walmart, and we were heading to Meijer's, because Walmart didn't have, like, low-sodium peanut butter or whatever, something. So, my dad drove towards Meijer's, and right as we pulled out of the Walmart parking lot, I got to the point, because I was telling him the whole story, I got to the point where, because remember, my dad was only there when we were getting the cream cheese, so he was only there when the dog was picked up. He wasn't there when the dog ran at mine. He wasn't there when the guy was following me around screaming at me. He wasn't there for that. So I was going through the whole story, and I finally got to the part when we pulled out of the parking lot. Well, he was also harassing me, and my dad was like, what? Like, he was on the road, so he couldn't stop, but he looked like he was about to hit the brakes. He was like, are you kidding me? What? And my dad was like, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the nearest turnaround. I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to go that guy. I can't say it because I'll probably get demonetized. You get what I mean. He'll go to the guy. I'm like, no. I don't think he's there anyways. I think my dad asked first, is the guy still there? I said no. But he still wanted to go back to Walmart. He's like, okay, I'm going to go to Meijer's. I'm going to get my stuff. I'm going to go back to Walmart and confront the manager because they didn't do anything. Because actually, no, my dad actually found out. I forgot to ask part. We were walking out of the store, and you know the front door greeters, there were two of them. Like, they're buddies, I guess. And they stopped us when we were leaving because my dad was like, hey, you need to check our receipt. He's like, no, but can you stay real quick? And pulled us off to the side. And he's like, you know everyone in the store, all the Walmart workers are looking for this dog, which is kind of how I found out that the guy must have said something messed up about Dixie. He's like, no, can you stop? Everyone's trying to look for this dog. And we said, why? He's like, this dog's a threat. not like that. He didn't say it's a threat. He's like, that dog, we needed to know where that dog is because someone reported your dog. And we said, let me guess, the guy with the beagle? He said, well, I don't know, but someone's saying that your dog is aggressive. And we're like, are you kidding me? And we're talking, obviously the guys believed us. They saw Dixie, they saw she wasn't aggressive. But I said, are you kidding me? He said that. And I said, you want to see the video? Because I actually did record this guy just in case he said something like this, because I knew he probably would have, because he's not all there. Is like exactly what I said. He's not all there. And I said, do you want me to pull up the video? Do you want me to pull up the video of his dog going berserk at mine because now he's calling my dog aggressive? Do you want me to show you that? And they're like, no, that's fine. We believe you, but we just want you to let you know everyone's looking for you. And that's what sent me over the top, that these Walmart workers, everyone in the store is actively trying to look for me, but they don't want to deal with a fake service dog when I report it. Are you kidding me? But suddenly when someone says a German Shepherd is being aggressive, they go look for it. But when a fake service dog is going crazy, like a lab, golden, beagle, whatever, if they're going crazy and being aggressive, they don't do anything. But all of a sudden when a German Shepherd does, we even had bully breeds in the store acting aggressive, trying to attack her, like pit bull mixes and stuff. They don't do anything. They only do it if it's a German Shepherd. It's crazy. I'm sorry, voice crack. But it was insane. So my dad wanted to go back and confront the manager and everyone who was reporting us and be like, are you kidding me? You're reporting my daughter with this well-behaved service dog, and you're believing a guy with a dog right in front of your freaking eyeballs that is misbehaving and says emotional support on the vest. I'm sorry, I'm getting mad. The dog had emotional support on its vest, and you're thinking my dog is the aggressive one. Are you kidding me? We were livid. I was mad. Because that's when it finally clicked in my brain when those two Walmart workers stopped us to say, hey, no, everyone's looking for you. Your dog was reported as aggressive. That's when it clicked in my brain that the guy was making up lies about my dog to save his butt. I almost swear because I am mad. He tried to save his own butt because he knew eventually that his dog would have been brought up if it did end up attacking my dog. And he probably knows his dog is in the wrong. His dog might have bitten Dixie. So my dad said, well, here's the deal. We're not going to go back. But if we see this guy in Walmart again, we're immediately reporting him. Immediately. And we're immediately getting him kicked out. Because I said to my dad, I am not comfortable shopping in Walmart. Haven't gone back to Walmart since this. I said, I'm not comfortable shopping at Walmart if they purposely let in aggressive dogs and refuse to do anything about it. Because a day later, the next day, I called management. And she laughed in my face. She almost swore at me, actually. She was on the verge of using swear words. And basically telling me, she did tell me, I don't care that your dog almost got attacked. It's not my problem. I said, well, kids could have been attacked. She's like, I don't care. Not a problem. I don't get paid enough. That's what she said to me. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're a manager of a store, and you don't care if a fake service dog is attacking mine. Really? And it made me livid. I was so mad. But that's basically kind of where the story ends. But it was insane. Absolutely absurd. I don't even have words for it. It was crazy. And I wanted to tell you guys because it was such a traumatizing thing I went through. Worst thing I ever went through. And I never really went into full detail with it like I did with you guys because I don't know. I should have went live about this a long time ago and got it off my chest because I haven't been able to sleep at night a couple nights. Actually, I didn't sleep the first 2 nights after because one, the guy's dog really traumatized me. The way he treated me traumatized me. Sorry, low battery, 20%. Actually, whenever we drive by Walmart now, I start hyperventilating and getting stomach bubbles, like, when you get butterflies in your stomach, and it hurts, like, it's like butterflies with sharp little nails or, like, spikes out their wings. It hurts, and it's like, oh, something's bubbling. It is, though. But, oh, something's bubbling, I'm getting nervous, because that's how it did feel to me, because I was so nervous. Extremely nervous. I don't even know what to say. It was nuts, and I never want to go through something like that again. I cannot believe I was treated like that by the manager. I can't believe I was treated like that by a guy. He lives in my town. It was nuts. But yeah, if I do see that guy again and I report him, or if he tries to threaten me again, I am calling the cops, no questions asked, because I am sick of Walmart not doing anything. If they want to learn the hard way that a service dog handler is 100% capable of calling the cops, then that is what I'm going to have to do. And I hate calling the cops, and I hate confrontation. But if that's what it comes down to, that's what it's going to have to be, because I cannot do it anymore. I cannot sit here and have my life be miserable because someone else wants to make my life miserable first. It's just not fair. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say and talk about, because it made me so mad. I can't stand it. So yeah, I want to tell you guys that. Basically, I'm done now, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But yeah, I'll wait for questions if you have any. If you don't have any questions, just say I don't have any questions, and I'll end the stream. But yeah, freaking traumatizing, dude. Like, hold on, I'm gonna bring this up so I can plug my phone in. You got close up to me, hi. But yeah, hold on. I think it's plugged in. I think so. It didn't vibrate. It normally vibrates when it's plugged in, but I guess not today. Here's Becky. Here's Becky the bites all snuggled in. Look at the teeth. Christmas Eve is tomorrow, so happy early Merry Christmas? I don't know. Happy something. I don't know. It's probably already Christmas Eve technically right now. Happy Christmas Eve? I don't know what time it is. Hold on. Oh, yeah. It's Christmas Eve technically. Happy Christmas Eve. I had to look at past comments to see what it was. Anyways. So yeah, that's all I have right now. I'm probably going to end this. And if I miss a question, just comment it in the comment section. If my comments, okay. I have a question. Would you ever do a tandem team? I think I would. So I am getting a new puppy hopefully soon. What is this? I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. There's like stuffing on the side of my bed. It's weird. I do think I will, because once I get my new puppy, I am probably gonna tandem team so he can learn from Dixie. It's gonna be extremely hard for me to retire Dixie. I think Dixie will have no problem. I think she'll just be chilling like a villain at home. But Dixie does have some separation anxiety, which is actually one of her flaws. So I don't want to leave Dixie. It's more of an emotional connection. She helps me a lot. She's helped me through the years. We have such a strong bond that I really don't want to wash her. But then again, this new puppy is going to need a lot of service dog training, and he can't just stay home constantly. So I'm probably going to have to tandem team quite a bit, and I'm nervous for it, because even if my dad brings his service dog and training in public, Ripco, she rarely ever goes, but if she does go for some training, we might start taking her out for training more often, because the Michigan doesn't allow service dogs in training just quite yet, but March 2023, they're going to pass the law that service dogs in training are now officially allowed in public, but of course they have to be fully task trained, fully PI trained, fully obedience trained, basically what it was before to be considered fully trained, but they're saying, well, your dog can still be labeled in training. So it's basically just like a label change. So before, if your dog was in training, you'd have to label it fully trained, or else you could be kicked out of the store. So if it was labeled in training and a business owner looked at that and they decided they want to be a jerk today, they could basically tell you to get out. It's complicated. I don't know. That's why when I say Dixie was in training still, but technically fully trained, and people are like, well, that's complicated. That makes no sense. That's why. Because Michigan makes no sense. But we're finally getting the right to have our service dogs in training, even though they're technically fully trained. But we can label them in training now. So Ripco might start going up more often. But if I do tandem team, that's going to be quite difficult, because I'm going to have Dixie, new dog, and Ripco, which they probably won't all go out at once. And that's my dilemma, is my dad's not going to want to take 3 dogs everywhere, because he always takes his dog. Not in the stores, but he'll, like, take her in the car and leave her in. Like, if it's summertime, he'll put on air conditioning. If it's wintertime, he'll leave on the heat in the car. waste a lot of gas, but hey, it's a dog. It needs to stay healthy. So we leave on air conditioning or the heating, whatever time of year it is. But we always bring Ripco, whether she go in the store or not. She only normally goes in the stores if they're pet friendly. She was going into Home Depot, and I did recognize and read the sign that they don't allow pets. So I said to my dad, "Hey, they don't allow pets in here." He's like, "Well, I always bring Ripco in here." And Ripco's not a bad dog by any means. She's not like completely reactive, or she's not going to distract a service dog by any means, unless the dog is fake and it's getting distracted by nothing. But Ripco's just kind of a good girl. She kind of just minds her own. She will get really excited when a person tries to pet her. She'll, like, get up and wag her tail and, like, jump on them. She's really excited. She won't, like, jump up hyperly, but she'll kind of just, like, slowly creep up your legs. Like, she'll be in a sit pretty, and then she'll just kind of, like, slowly leap on you and start kissing you. So that needs to be corrected, but otherwise, if you tell her to leave a dog alone, she will. So when I saw the sign, I said, "Here, you can take Dixie. I'll take Ripco," because Ripco is task trained. She's not really solid on it, but she can tell when you're nervous, and she will like do a sit pretty and put her paws on your leg, and will tell you that you're nervous. That's one of her alerts. So yeah, so she technically is considered a service dog, but we don't bring her out that much. So yeah. So I took her leash and I put her in a heel so she would look like a service dog, but neither of the dogs were vested because I wasn't aware Home Depot wasn't pet friendly until I saw that sign. So, and we saw 2 dogs, and actually we saw more than 2 dogs. We saw a lot of dogs in there. There was a Doberman that showed its teeth and tried attacking our dogs, and it pooped. I actually recorded that. And there was another dog, and I was so caught off guard because they were coming up to us so fast. I tried getting my phone to record, and I was just, like, frantically trying to get the camera on, and it had stopped barking. I only got, like, literally 1 second of a video. Hi, baby girl. But I got, like, 1 second of a video. Before I started recording, it was going nuts. It was yipping, yapping. It almost jumped out of the cart to attack Dixie and Ripco. It was full on ready to attack. I'm not even kidding. I'm not over-exaggerating. This dog was trying to attack our dogs. And it did technically jump out of the cart, but the owner grabbed it by, like, the scruff and, like, yanked it back in the cart and leashed it, but why? And it was in the cart, like I said, so that's gross, but whatever. At least I don't sell food. If you don't remember me, I'm a service dog team in Michigan. Was also wondering if you would ever do it with someone in your area / state. Like a meetup? Yes, I would. But half the time I don't do meetups just because it's not because I don't want to, but it's like sometimes the people are far away from me and they can't come to where I live. Half the time I can't drive to where they are. Like, most of my service dog friends are in Grand Rapids, and one of them is in Muskegon. Actually, I know 2 service dog handlers in Muskegon. One has a Belgian Malinois, one has an American Pit Bull Terrier. The Belgian Malinois and me aren't really friends, but we, like, tolerate each other. I don't know. That came off rude. We don't tolerate each other. We just don't fight. But we're not, like, besties. We just are like, "Hey, what's up? Cool." We never met in person, but she's younger. She's a kid, so I don't want to necessarily meet up with a child, like a 12-year-old, because that would come off weird because I'm an older person. But, you know, as long as your parents are okay with it, I know my parents are okay. They would actually rather me meet up with a younger person than an older person. I am in Ludington, so if you ever want to meet up, dude, like, totally. If you want to message me, actually, you totally can. I will try to look for your comments. I think you just commented on my Myers video, and I will tell you my Instagram or, like, Facebook or something, and we can message. And, you know, if you want to, like, actually, let me write that down where you live and see how far away it is from me. And maybe we can plan a meetup. You know, if you ever want to drive up to where I am, go for it. I have no problem with that. Sorry, I'm trying to... But yeah, I would love to do a meetup. And Dixie does need more training around other dogs. She's not reactive whatsoever, but she does get excited. She will wag her tail and get kind of distracted, so yeah. That would be awesome. And if it's okay with you, I'd love to record it. And if you don't want to be recorded, I understand, but I do record most of everything. So yeah. But yeah, Dixie loves dogs. Is your dog a small dog? Because Dixie adores small dogs, which makes it even harder for her to ignore them, because she thinks all small dogs are her puppies. She loves small dogs. She will literally snuggle a small dog and lick them, and she'll play bout, and she'll submit to them. She's crazy with small dogs. She loves small dogs. Bigger dogs, she's more flirty. If she sees a big dog, not a big dog, but like her size dog, like a medium. Dixie's not that tall. She's like 22 inches. So, but whenever she sees a dog her size, she'll start flirting. She'll lick them in the mouth, and she'll like sniff their butts and stuff. Dixie loves medium size. Big dog, she's like, get away from me. That's why we need training around big dogs too. Because she's not that comfortable around big dogs, because she's always been attacked by big dogs. But she will absolutely ask for me to, pick her up away from them. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm looking at my feet. For free. But yeah, I'll look up how far away this is, and I'll like contact you on my video, and we can message each other. But yeah, that would be amazing to have a meetup. But yeah. No, you're fine. You're so cute, Dixie. Just hairs in her face. But yeah, that would be amazing, because yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was scrolling back up. Yeah, I'll message you, like, not message you, I'll leave a comment back to your reply and tell you my, like, Instagram or Facebook. Facebook is probably better to message me on, if you have it, or, like, a messenger. I message on Messenger. I would give you my phone number, but I don't want weirdos seeing my phone number, so I'll probably just, like, give you my Instagram or Messenger. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go so I can get to sleep. So yeah, what time is it? Holy crap, it's like 1 in the morning. Okay, well, I gotta go. I gotta go to sleep. Because Christmas Eve's tomorrow, and I have to go with my mom. So yeah, and we have a blizzard right now, a severe blizzard in Michigan. And it's horrible. I would love to meet up with you and Dixie, but because I'm in Australia, I can't. But also, I hope you're both okay after what happened. Thank you so much. I would love to meet up with all of you guys. Honestly, I also, wait, Australia. Oh, I love Australia. Sorry, I had to double check. Make sure it wasn't Austria or something. But yeah, I love Australia. I've always wanted to go there. My top 2 countries I want to visit are Australia and Africa. Africa has always been a dream of mine. I want to study African wild dogs and their behavior, but sometimes I think I'm too dumb to do, like, biology and stuff, but I really enjoy genetics. I enjoy behavioral. I enjoy traits and how pack mentality works and all this. But I think the closest I'll ever get to genetics and science is breeding dogs and goats. So yeah, I'm not even breeding dogs yet. I'm only breeding goats. And it's a good start, because breeding goats isn't too difficult, but it does take some math and some science to figure out what you're supposed to do. But I do want to eventually breed dogs. I actually set up a dog breeding account already on Good Dog, if you know what that website is. I love to learn the different African cultures, especially food. Oh, their food is so good. Sorry, I'm going off topic again. But, we had this day in school where we were doing, world history. We were learning about India. And my teacher before COVID, he used to host, like, these food days, like, twice a year. Or, like, once every trimester. Yeah, once or twice every trimester. I think twice every trimester, actually. But anyways, he made he would give people, he wouldn't give them recipes, but he would say, tomorrow we're having a food day, go home, find an Indian recipe, make it, bring it in tomorrow. So I never made anything, because I don't want to mess up Indian culture. I am Native American Indian, not East Asian Indian, which are like Muslims and Arab. How do you say it? Arab is for short. Arabic? Is that, I'm sorry if I'm confusing it, but like those cultures are East Asian? I'm sorry, I'm kind of blurred on my Indian education and world history. I'm more of a Native American / English, like England. That's more my strong suit, not like America, US history, and Great Britain, England history is more my strong suit. I don't do good on India. So yeah. What was it? Europe 2. Europe 2 is the only thing I found like two major events interesting was the Black Plague and yellow eye fever, which I can't remember that started. That was such a long time ago. That was like in 4th grade we learned about that, or 3rd grade. But yeah, my Indian learning we learned in 7th grade, I believe. Maybe 6th grade. So it was a long time ago. So yeah. But yeah, he brought in this, back to the food. He brought in this really good dish. It was rice and chicken curry. Best thing I ever tasted. To this day, best thing. Well, it ties with some certain foods. I still like certain foods. But like one of the best things. It was like the right type of spicy. It wasn't too spicy. I can handle spicy. I eat Takis, okay? I eat Takis. Just kidding. I do eat Takis, but that's not like the spiciest. I can tell. That's not like the spiciest food I'm at. I also do jalapeno poppers, but I can't really handle those. I'm not good with spices. I get it from my dad. My dad cannot handle any spice. But it was the right amount of spice, right amount of sweetness. It was really, really good. Oh, gosh. I wish I could make that same thing about. He didn't give the recipe. I should have asked for it. And if I went out to ask him today, he probably wouldn't recognize me. Because I look so different in middle school. I didn't have bangs. I actually cut my bangs. I cut them actually a couple days ago. Recut them because they're getting like down to here. So I cut them, and I don't like how they look this short. I mean, I like it, but it's not my thing. I like long bangs, but I can't see out of them, so that's my issue. But yeah, I guess with me cutting them myself, they're kind of curled, and I have to wash my hair once again because I took a shower like 2 days ago, and my hair always gets greasy. It's mainly my bangs. I constantly mess with my hair. Like, this isn't greasy. This is like soft. It's kind of frizz because I have curly hair from my Native American side. But it's soft, and it's shampooed and conditioned, and it's so soft and delicate. I have dead ends, but because I constantly like move my bangs and like brush them quite often. Oh, my back went out. They're pretty greasy because I constantly mess with them. So I have to wash them like every day, which sucks. I don't wash my actual hair every day, but I try to wash my bangs at least once every other day. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I am going to go because I'm basically rambling at this point because my back is killing me and I have to go to sleep. So yeah, but I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you have a